Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Meenal in Marketing at CA Data Management Business Unit. Our webcast today is titled Backup Strategies for Windows Server 2012 with CA RServe R16.5. We will be hearing from Jeff from CA. But before we start, let's cover a few brief logistics. Although everyone's phones are muted, you should notice a Q&A dialog box on your screen. If you would like to ask questions regarding the information in today's presentation, please type your question in the box and submit. At the end of the presentation, we will try to get to you as many questions as we can. Now, I will ask Jeff to start off with his presentation. Jeff, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Meena. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, for wherever you are. Okay, so my name is Jeff. I'm a consultant from the CA Data Management team. So as Meena mentioned just now, today the topic we're going to talk about is backup strategy for Windows Server 2012, together with our CA RServe R16.5. Okay, so before we begin, so let's quickly go through the agenda we're going to cover in today's session. Okay, first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit quickly about CA Data Management overview. Then we will follow by why CA RServe. Okay, so after that, we will look at what is the new feature in Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8, following by a file-based backup solution with Windows 2012. Okay. Then after that, we have the image-based backup with Windows 2012 and Windows 8. We have following by virtual standby and host-based VM backup with Windows 2012. Lastly, we will have the reputation and high availability with Windows 2012. After all that, I'm going to give you guys a quick demo, around a 15-minute product demo on one of the solutions to protect using Windows 2012 as a solution to protect your data. Okay. Following by that, we will have the Q&A session. After that, we will end the session. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so this is we are the CA Data Management team. Okay, a brief history on CA itself. CA was founded in 1976. Okay, currently we have 13,600 employees worldwide, and we have roughly 51,000 customers globally. Okay. CA RServe Data Management actually is offering a comprehensive data protection solution that actually includes backup, recovery, replication, and high availability to protect customer data. Okay. So here, what you see is that is some of our example customers located globally. Okay, we have customers from different industries. Such as if you're talking about financial service, we have the Monday Capital Management. If you're looking at manufacturing and healthcare, one example, we have Jordan. Okay. Then we have the retail and services. We have the McDonald's Hotel and Resorts. If you're looking at technology and MSP, we have like ScaleMatrix, Enable. Okay. Now we will do that a bit more so to look at why CA RServe is so compelling for some of the customers. Okay, so actually CA RServe, right, we are actually offering a comprehensive data protection. We can actually protect data of what we also call the intellectual property of the customer from all aspects. This means that no matter your data is located in a physical or virtual machine, you are able to protect it, whether you are purely protecting a file, a folder, or your database data in a SQL database, or your email in an Exchange server, or even using Oracle, those can be protected using the RServe solution. Okay, the next we will look at how actually we can protect your intellectual property or your data. First of all, we have the traditional file-based backup. The file-based backup is the traditional backup where you change a file, we back up the whole file. Then following, we also have an option or solution for this snapshot backup if you're looking for something fast backup and fast recovery. If you have a more higher requirement such that you have a very minimum downtime, or you cannot tolerate any data loss, then you can look into replication or high ability. Okay, so dedupe feature itself actually is inbuilt into our solution. Okay, it's totally free of charge. The next thing you're going to look at, since that now you know how can you protect your data, next thing you're going to look at is where can you actually store your data. Well, when choosing different type of storage location, is purely depend on your objective or your goal or your requirement on your own organization. For example, maybe that backing up data through the cloud, through the internet link with a terabyte of data may not be a very good choice, because the infrastructure itself may not be able to handle such large amount of data to be transferred over. Okay, then after that, maybe you would look into a different approach, such as a hybrid approach. A hybrid approach where you can actually do a backup locally to a disk, okay, where you can have fast backup and fast recovery. And at the same time, maybe you can have a copy of the backup to the cloud. Of course, if you still would like to have a long-term retention or to keep your data for long-term retention purpose, you can still always use Tape. And this Tape and cloud, they are all supported as a storage location. Okay, no matter whether it's on-premise or off-premise. Of course, just now we are talking about all is how to protect your data. But only with protecting data will be not sufficient, because the most important, after you protect it or you backup it, you must be able to restore it. So ASUS solution offer many ways of restoring your data. No matter you are planning to restore the entire server or the entire full system, or you are planning to restore your application, even if you have requirement to restore maybe a single file or folder, those are all supported restore method we can offer inside CA ASUS solution. Okay, little bit on our target market. Mostly we are focusing on SMB mid-market, and we actually can work with MSP as well. Okay, the solution itself can be offered as a solution bundle, or if you have a requirement, you can use it. It can be offered as a managed capacity or even a subscription. It's possible. The delivery model can be on-premise, can be off-premise. Okay. Now, before we go into what are the new features in Windows 2012, right? I like to go through some why we call CA ASUS one simple solution. Okay. I actually want to give you a summary of what ASUS solution can help you. Okay. So first of all, CA ASUS, as I mentioned just now, it has a file and image-based backup, whether it's backing up to a disk, to a tape, to cloud. Inside the same solution, we can even give you replication, CDP, and high availability. We have built-in data deduplication, SRM feature, file archiving, and infrastructure visualization. When I'm talking about built-in, that means it's absolutely free. Okay. So of course, if you're looking at something to protect on your virtualization platform, we can protect VMware, Hyper-V, Citrix. We can even protect your Microsoft Exchange, SQL database, SharePoint, file server, IIS, Oracle, SAP, Linux, and Unix, and more. After you have backup, we can provide you with granular recovery of Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, file server, or even your Active Directory object. All those are supported. As again, the message here is that ASUS solution actually is an integrated and end-to-end solution. And of course, we have flexible licensing, whether we can license it per terabyte, per socket, or even per VM, etc. Okay. So when it comes to selecting a solution to protect your data, it's always come back to two questions. What is your RPO and what is your RPO? Okay. So we have the traditional tape-based backup, image-based backup for if you have a recovery time objective. Okay, you can also have a continuous or high availability solution. If you're looking for something on a higher RPO, maybe you can go for the image-based restore, Or if you are only need that, you only say that I can recover my server or my data the next day, then maybe you can try the traditional tape-based restore. Okay, again, CA Access, we actually, as a one single solution, we can protect, we can replicate, we can recover, or even we can archive, no matter your data is on a physical or a virtual machine. Whether you're planning to move it, your data to a cloud, or you simply want to protect your data in on-premise itself. Okay, so the objective of the solution is to reduce cost for the customer, to reduce the complexity of management, and to improve the capability when it comes to designing a data protection solution for the customer. Okay, so let's have a quick look on how actually we can protect data on a customer side. First of all, definitely you can do a backup to tape. You can do a Hyper-V backup or VMware backup, or you can even create a virtual standby locally in the customer side. Okay. If you have a remote or branch of it, we can protect them too. Okay. We can actually do an image-based backup of all your branch server. We can replicate it through LAN or WAN back to your primary site. Even if you have a DR site, again, we can still replicate all your data from all your remote branch or from your primary site to your DR site automatically in a real-time format. Then from your DR site, you can do tape out, you can do file archiving as well. Or even you are planning to move to the public or private cloud. Those are all supported inside using the CA Access solution. Okay. Now, let's look at what is the new feature in Windows 2012 and Windows 8. Together with the release of CA Access 16.5, the new feature of Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8 are supported, such as NTFS deduplication. Then they have the Resilient File System, or the REFS. Then we also have a support for Hyper-V 3.0, distributed VSS, or even the new technology of storage space, which is an all-new feature in Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8. Okay, so this is our highlight. Again, all the features I've mentioned just now, they are fully supported in CA Access R16.5. You can do backup, you can do replication, you can do high availability with a Windows 2012 or Windows 8 server. Okay, let's talk a little bit more detail on what is the feature about. Windows 2012, they introduced what we call the NTFS dedupe. It is a deduplication for the primary storage, and it is a volume level setting, which background process for offline dedupe applications. What this dedupe do is that it actually segment the data into small variable chunks. Okay, then it identify the duplicate chunk and only maintain a single copy. And also it will be able to compress the chunks further to allow significant disk space saving when you are storing data in an NTFS dedupe storage. Also, in Windows 2012, they also introduced a new local file system, which they call it the Resilient File System, or in short, REFS. The REFS provides maximized data ability and online operation. It provides data integrity to ensure that business-critical data is protected from error. How it does that is that together with another new feature in Windows 2012, which is the mirror state, it can provide you with the data integrity by creating mirror of your storage. It also can automatically remove corrupt data from namespace on a live volume without disturbing all your active data. It actually will run a proactive error identification process, which it will periodically scan volume to detect the latent corruption and remove them if possible. Another feature of Windows 2012 is that they actually introduced Hyper-V 3.0. Hyper-V 3.0 itself has several new features. But some of the new features I'm going to talk about is that we actually now is able to provide support for up to 64 processors and 1 terabyte of memory for guest OS, which is not possible in the previous Hyper-V version. Also, they have introduced a new VHDX format, which a larger disk capability that supports up to 64 terabytes per virtual disk, as you compare with the previous Hyper-V version, where the VHD format only able to support up to 2 terabytes per virtual disk only. Okay. So another new feature in Windows 2012, which is called the distributed VSS. Now, with the distributed VSS, it allows server applications such as SQL, Hyper-V to store their database file or their VHD file on the UNC path. So distributed VSS also supports shadow copy for data stored on a remote file share. Okay. So if you compare with the current version of VSS in Microsoft, the current VSS only supports shadow copy of the local disk only. That means that if you have a SQL server and you would like to use the VSS feature, you need to make sure your SQL database is sitting in a local disk inside the server. Now, you actually, with the distributed VSS, now you can actually snapshot backup like a SQL database, which is located on a UNC path, maybe on another file server, using the VSS itself. Now, the last feature I'm talking about, Windows 2012, is the new storage virtualization capability, which they call the storage space. What the storage space do is that it actually organizes the organization of physical disks into storage pools, which can be easily expanded by simply adding disks. And it gives you a new capability such as team provisioning. Then the storage space have a resilient capability through mirroring and clarity as well. Okay. So now that with this new feature, with virtual identity storage space new feature, you no longer require to buy expensive external storage appliance for mirroring or clarity feature. Combining with the REFF feature just now, you actually can greatly increase data integrity and ability for all your data or your so-called intellectual property on the server itself. So these are the features I'm going to go through on Windows Server 2012 itself. Please remember, this is some of the highlighted features in Windows 2012 only. There are other new features which will not, due to time constraint, I will not be discussing them in this session. Okay. So let's talk about how our solution can work with a Windows 2012 or Windows 8. Okay. So for file-based support, file-based backup, now we can use a Windows Server 2012 as a backup server. So we can back up NTFS, dedupe volume, we can back up, restore, with granular file restore as well. We can also back up and restore all the volume that you created using REFS, the resilient file system, file and file folder is supported as well. Definitely, we can back up the latest Hyper-V VM that has using the latest VHDX format and or having data on a remote SMB share. You can utilize the distributed VS to shadow copy the data stored on a remote file share as well. The backup and restore of volume created on top of storage space is supported. We will just look at those volumes as a local volume on the server, and definitely we will be able to back up and restore it. Now, the file space backup solution, again, allows you to back up to disk and to tape or even to cloud. So next solution we can look at is the image space backup. Again, Windows 2012 and Windows 8 is fully supported in the image space backup solution. So for the image space backup solution, or some of you already might know, is called the ASAP G2D. With the latest version 16.5, we are able to support backup of the NTFS decrypt volume. We are able to back up resilient file system volume and virtual disk created from the storage space. The NTFS decrypt volume, REFS volume, and the virtual disk created from the storage space can also be specified as a backup destination itself. In terms of restore, file level restore is fully supported for NTFS decrypt volume, REFS volume, and storage space virtual disk. Now, PMR is supported for NTFS decrypt volume and REFS volume. If you are using a NTFS volume, we support what we call the optimized restore to an empty non-system local volume. This is only referring to the NTFS decrypt volume, and we also support non-optimized restore if destination is not empty for NTFS decrypt volume. What does this mean? There is that we can back up your data from an NTFS decrypt volume in a decrypt format, and we can restore it back as a decrypt format. But again, the requirement is that this must not be a system local volume, and it must be empty. If you are restoring to a non-empty volume, then it will be a non-optimized. This means that when we restore, we will rehydrate the data before we restore to the volume. Of course, Hyper-V 3.0 is fully supported in the image space backup. So T2T 16.5 support all its functionalities for a Windows Server 2012 with Hyper-V World. That means that you can install T2T into a Windows Server 2012, whether it's a normal server or a Hyper-V. T2T can be used to perform backup, restore, or even bare metal recovery, or so-called PMR, of the entire Windows Server 2012 with a Hyper-V World included. All data on the Hyper-V host, including the VM file, can be backed up. T2T actually will interact with the Hyper-V VSS writer to back up the file. Now look at the other solution we have for protecting Windows Server 2012. We have the virtual standby and the host-based backup. Again, NTFS, REFS, Hyper-V 3.0, storage space are all supported. Before we go into the virtual standby host-based VM backup, for those that you do not know, virtual standby actually is integration with our T2T or the image-based backup, where you will take the backup of your server, then we can perform an automatic conversion into a VM using the virtual standby feature, whether your VM is in a Hyper-V or VMware. The host-based backup, we actually work on a VMware level, where we will utilize the host feature to snapshot backup the VM inside the VMware host. Now, virtual standby and host-based VM backup can now be installed onto a Windows Server 2012. Again, this is only valid for RCF R16.5. Host-based VM backup can snapshot backup VM running with Windows 8 and Windows Server 2012 from a VMware host level. If you are familiar with the VMware type of snapshot backup, they use the so-called VDTK method. So Windows 8 and Windows Server 2012 can be converted into a virtual standby VM, but your destination platform must be either VMware or Hyper-V. Those are the supported virtualization platform that you can use together with virtual standby. Now talk about the last solution, which is the replication and high ability. Again, Windows Server 2012 is supported NTFS, REFS, Hyper-V 3.0, storage space. We can replicate, we can provide high ability, which means failover feature for Windows 2012 server. RHA, in short, for replication and high ability, now support Windows Server 2012 as the control service, and definitely the replication engine can be installed onto a Windows 2012 server for replication purpose. Windows Server 2012 is supported for all types of scenarios. This means file server scenario, SQL scenario, Exchange scenario. Okay, even full system scenario is supported. The scenario itself supports new Windows 2012 features such as IEFF Decrypt or storage space. This means that if you are running a Windows 2012 server, if you have REFF or NTFS Decrypt volume on your Windows 2012 server, we will be able to replicate data from those volumes as well. Now, with CARServ RHS 16.5, we have a full system support for Hyper-V 3.0. This means that you can use the latest version of Hyper-V 3.0 as a virtual platform to fail over during a DR. The full system itself actually is a clone of your production server. Doesn't matter your production is physical or virtual. You can clone it and fail over to a Hyper-V 3.0. Now, what you're seeing here is a full system high ability basic infrastructure design. What it does is that it will actually replicate a volume replication from maybe you have a C drive or E drive. We will replicate those drives to a virtualized platform, whether it's a VMware, Hyper-V, Citrix, SAN, they are all supported. If there is a case of DR situation, that means that your production is down or due to whatever reason, you can actually put up the replicated data as a virtual machine. And once you put up, it will be exactly same as your production server because it is a clone of your production server in real time. So you will be expecting the data to update it until the last minute itself. Okay. Now, just now is what are the solutions we can work with Windows 2012. If you have interested to learn more about our solution, you can always visit our website, which is the arserv.com/ap. You can find several different literature. You can even find a 30-day trial software you can download and test it in your own environment. Okay, so now it's time for a demo.